Hello, hello, hello. Impromptu St. Patty's Day, Friday, just for the fun of it. Just bored to tears. How's everybody doing? Wait to see if we get a few people jumping in just for fun. Everybody's probably out partying St. Patty's Day. That's my guess. Let's see if anybody gets up here sober like me right now. Probably not. We're off to see the sea to see what we. There's one. Let's see who we got. Got one person either sober or not sober, but at least looking. Got four. Hey, hello, Easy Mick. Yeah, St. Patty's Day. I don't drink much, so not a big holiday for me. But just want to see how everybody's doing. Just check in and go to a record show tomorrow in Dallas Fort Worth area. So kind of looking forward to that. Hadn't been to one in a bit. Hello, X File. How's it going out there in VC land, so to speak? I'll put up the link if anybody wants to join. But I'm thinking there's a lot of people celebrating, I would imagine. I wouldn't be shocked at that very much. So it's been a crazy week, hectic week. Although they all seem to wind down pretty quick at the end of the week and reflect back and say, where the heck did the week go? I guess that's true. But anyway, so got through the contest the other night. That was good. Got a winner. Got that shipped out. So at least made it over that hump. And yeah, if you weren't here, Chance, the concert buddy, won that. He won a vinyl copy of That Thing You Do, the soundtrack to that album. So, hello, ice cold beverage. That sounds like a good idea, actually. Hope you're well too. Yeah, that sounds kind of good right now, doesn't it? Yeah. So today I was this evening I was kind of looking back at a few older videos, and I was looking at my interviews I did of Chad Kassem from Analog Productions, and I realized he has some really golden moment statements, that he makes. And I think I'm going to put those into a montage because they're just kind of, to capture in the flow of the kind of things he's saying. But he's just got that way of speaking, and I just thought that would be interesting to put those together and listen to them in their own right, as opposed to strung out through a Q&A session. So but we'll see how that goes. Yeah, the show tomorrow is in a city called Grapevine, which is right next to DFW Airport here, and they have it twice a year, and it's pretty good. I'm going to do the early bird just to, first of all, see what they have. Of course, better to go at the end of the day when they're desperate to sell and not and get out of there. But occasionally, I found a Beatles Blue Box BC13 set one time at one of those. And I think I paid $300 for it, and it was in really, really good shape. So, so occasionally you find some stuff. You gotta look around, and as the day wears on. But yeah, it's just interesting the way different people work in terms of some of those places are businesses that come in and they set up shop there, and then you got they're not really negotiating much in those places, and then a lot of times you got to pay tax, sales tax with it because they're run as a business as opposed to people just selling on their own. But it's interesting to see different people and their kind of their approach to things. And one thing I like to do is to see what's the running value of records. I know going into stores, it seems like prices have definitely crept up on the used stuff. I go into some of the bigger stores here in Dallas in the new arrivals section, and you usually get the best calibration off of that because that's what they've recently priced. And typically people who are looking, who especially been in the store very much, gravitate to that, right, to see what's new because they probably have seen a lot of what's out there in the general bins. So I don't know if there's any tips anybody has for best way to to look at a record show or approach it. Let me know. I mean, it's something that is just it's kind of its own little excursion, right? Little interesting people that are there that there's one group there always, and they have nothing but Beatles stuff, and it's really interesting. But a lot of times some of the stuff is just priced. It just seems outrageously. So let's see what we got here. I bought a new slash old D first wave CD. Okay. Fagin the Nightfly, one of my favorite albums. I have a Mobile Fidelity vinyl of that. Not the one step. I'm hoping one day to get the one step of that. I was looking to do a trade for a Marley Exodus, but didn't find anybody that was a taker on that. But Fagin Nightfly, I actually have on a multi-channel as well, and it really sounds fabulous in multi-channel. You can get a lot of the instrumentation is kind of broken out a little bit more, so you really can pick up some of the things that are maybe buried a little bit in the mix when it's two-channel. That's a really well recorded album. I mean, that's like Dire Straits' Brothers in Arms. When you get one that's recorded well right out of the box, when it comes out that way, and then it's always you tend to get a good reissues on that is what happens. And even the OGs, of course, are good. I haven't really heard a bad pressing of the Nightfly, and I don't know, I've got a Japan, I've got a German, I've got a UK, and I've got a US, and then I've got the MoFi. And they all sound good. I'd say the MoFi is probably the one that I like the best overall. But that's kind of a classic album, and yeah, it's a good one to judge what they can do with digital. Incredible album. I have a UK 12-inch of New Frontier as well. Yeah, I don't know if it's that song or another one I have a 12-inch of. You make me think now. Yeah. Well, yeah, when you can those 12-inch, if you can get the those grooves separated like that, it's great. I don't know if yours is a 45 RPM or not versus 33, but those are even better, of course. But yeah, 12-inch singles, um, it can really be a little. They can cut them hot because of the groove dispersion that's allowed given the space that they have on those. So that's a good one to have, no doubt about it. Yeah, that's a kind of a system demo, 45 RPM. Okay, yeah, this year. Yeah. So yeah, those are kind of for demoing systems. And I got a new phono stage last week, and it is just unbelievable how much it has enhanced the sound of my system. I'm trying to show you a picture here of it. It's a Graham Slee Special Edition Grand Amp 2. Just little box, inputs, outputs, power, and it can do moving magnet or moving coil, and it automatically adjusts on its own for the voltage. And it just really added some depth and dimension to my sound. It added the mid range, and the voices definitely are better pronounced than they were. I had a shit Manny, and I also had what was built into the receiver. I've got a 949 Pioneer, and I've got a NAD 3140 for stereo. The 3140 has a pretty good phono stage, but this definitely beats it. So this unit, I think, new. is like $500, and I got it for 200 here locally. Someone was selling it here in Dallas, and I went and picked it up at their house. And there's a place called usaudioMart.com. It's, where you can buy and sell equipment. And sure enough, there was one on there, and it was right here local. So a friend of mine who's an audiophile said that's probably the best sounding phonostage he's heard under $1,000, and it definitely made a difference. Audible right out of the box kind of difference. And it's been very enjoyable to listen to some albums now with having better vocals and better detail. So it made a lot bigger difference than I thought it was going to make, to be honest with you. So yeah, I guess people that this guy tests equipment and reviews equipment, and so he kind of knows. So that's good. Hello there, Jerry. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you. I was looking around where I was at work today, and I don't think anybody was wearing green. It seemed like it was like, hey, what's going on? What's going on, Novus? How's it going, Novus Nick? I'll put the link up here. If anybody wants to join, you're certainly more than welcome to do that. And appreciate any of you that came out for the giveaway that we had the other night, which was a little bit different and fun. And I got some good feedback on doing it that way, kind of doing it interactively and getting it over with, and giving people a chance to win something. I'm going to do that some more. I like that way of doing it, because now it's kind of like, the thing's over. I've shipped out the record. It's easy. 29 degrees. Oh, what part of Indiana, Jerry? I grew up in Indiana. Maybe we've had this conversation, but Erin go bra. Well, or she could go braless, I guess. But anyway. Oh, we got more people coming in. Thanks for joining. Yeah, what part of Indiana, Jerry? Because I grew up near Gary, or actually in Gary, and then Muncie. Ball State University. I've went to some concerts there. They have that T-shirt says "Ball U" with the U, like this. That's always there. Yeah, good old Muncie, right off. I think it's Interstate 69, if my memory serves me correct. But yeah, it's been cool here in Dallas as well. I mean, right now it's 46, going down to 39 tonight. It was only 55 today. So we had a big front come through yesterday. We had severe storms, hail, baseball size hail, one tornado. So it was, it's funny. It was last 2 weeks. I guess it was 2 weeks ago, Thursday, when I came back from Europe. And that night we had the same kind of storm because I flew in that afternoon late and just made it in. So something about Thursday afternoon. So, all right. X-File, you got New Albany. Wow. SR, do you mean Stevie Ray Vaughan? I'm not sure, Jerry, if it's a typo or, yeah. Yeah. New Albany. Yeah. My wife grew up in Lafayette, Indiana. So, she grew up in Sullivan, Indiana. I take that back, near Terre Haute, South Terre Haute. But a lot of her parents had moved to Lafayette, and she's got sisters in Lafayette as well. One in what's it called? It's just north of Indy on 69. Fishers, yeah. Stevie Ray Vaughan. Okay, that's what I thought. That's who I thought you meant, Jerry, when you said SVR. I thought you meant SRV. Okay. Yeah, I saw Jars of Clay there. I know I saw Jars of Clay, who's a Christian band. I remember seeing them distinctly. It seems like I've seen somebody else there, but I'm not recalling it as strongly as I remember seeing Jars of Clay. So yeah, I've got a pool, so it's like I guess I'm gonna just have to turn the spa heat on and to get in there, because the pool's not gonna warm up anytime soon. I don't think so. that's do that this weekend after I get back from the record show. Enjoy that. Yeah, I did I don't know if you guys have tuned into the Vinyl Community podcasts. There's several of us that have been on there, Concert Buddy, and I think the Waxed has been on there, and a couple other people, Nadim, Soul Disco. I've done some, and I've got one coming out next week as well. Um, and they're on Spotify, Apple Music, Google, so all the main podcasting, and it's kind of nice. So down in the 20s, I didn't know. No, I don't know why, Novus Nick. I didn't realize you were in Louisiana. I don't know why I thought you were more toward the East Coast. Wow. Oh, great. Yeah, the podcast. Yeah, so my podcast next week is about growing up with vinyl and kind of how I got into it as a kid, literally a kid. I mean, like a 6, 7-year-old kid, and then through my journey. So it was kind of fun to do, reflect back on some things that I had, I don't want to say forgot about, but things that, weren't as fresh in my memory. And it was kind of like, as I started talking, things start coming back to you. And it's grew up in Philly and moved. Okay. Well, yeah. Yeah, I know you weren't a Louisiana twanger. I can tell you didn't have that exact, but so yeah. Well, one day when I pass through Louisiana, we'll have to get together. If you're ever in the Dallas area, of course, as well. But yeah, these podcasts have become, at least, when you're driving, it's, you can kind of listen to things. I've been listening to Chance interview a guy, a younger guy who's been in the community. It's interesting to listen to his story. And if I hear Chance say old white guys one more time in this podcast, I think I'm going to have to shut it off, because it's like he's talking about the vinyl community, and he's as Groucho Marx would say, we won't go there, but I mean, yeah, I look at my demographics, on my channel, and the one thing I can say is I went from like 0.5 female to like 5% now. So it's been quite a change, and the age disparity has gotten younger. I mean, early on it was really like 50 plus, a high percentage. So it has spread out a little bit, Come to the restaurant. Yeah, well, I definitely will come to the restaurant and sit in your lazy boy at your house. I know that. Yeah, but I always come bearing gifts. So there always will be a gift of vinyl in my hand when I go to visit anybody in the vinyl community. So um, that's always a given. So yeah, that'll be fun. I like traveling. I like getting on the road and going places, and just I guess I'm one of those, like, do it while you can, because there's going to come a day where, they're going to want to take those keys away from you. And I'm sure that, I don't know. I feel like my identity somewhat will be really affected by that. My freedom, my ability to get around. I really enjoy that. So, I was, there was somebody on here, and it hasn't been too recently, but somebody was on here who was, I want to say maybe Central America. I can't remember, but they were trying to get an anniversary edition of Sergeant Pepper's, I think it was. And they said people, that they were seeing them for like 50, 60, $70. And I'm like, that just seemed ridiculous. So I've got several of those that are sealed that I would be more than willing to sell for what I paid, which was like 30, 32 or something like that. But just in case that person might be on here, you're not required, but appreciated. All right. Well, that's fair. That's fair enough. But so Mazzy did a whack-a-mole today, and I couldn't help but notice at the beginning when he was trying to grab his elbows, he was like, "Oh God!" And I said, "Yeah, you're going to end up at a chiropractor." And chiropractor says, "How'd this happen?" And you say, "I was doing a whack-a-mole," and the chiropractor is going to say, "Yeah, I don't want to know. I don't." That first word scares me. I just don't even want to know what you're talking about. So yeah, it's it's been great. Hey Drew, how's it going? Good to see you. Yeah, it's funny how, he's got a series of things like that, and it's the music stupid, and he really kind of has a nice format of things. I was saying a few minutes ago, I said I was going and looking through some older videos of mine, and I ran across the ones I'd done with Analog Productions with Chad, and I realized listening to him, man, he's got a lot of really interesting statements, that he makes and sayings that he has. And I'm thinking I'm going to take some time at some point and glue those together into a montage. Chad Kassem's greatest hits or something like that. KTEL presents Chad Kassem's greatest hits. 22 of the best Cajun sayings you've ever heard in your life. Yeah, Nick, he's from Louisiana, right? That's pretty. He still carries it pretty heavy. Um, but definitely an interesting guy. I had a feeling, and I don't know why I was thinking, and I think it's still gonna. I think this month is when the next Steely Dan will drop, which is Pretzel Logic, the UHQR. I think it's this month. I kind of wondered if it was going to happen today. Not, it's just St. Patrick's Day. I mean, no specific reason, but I just wondered. I just expect it just any day now to drop. So, hey, there she is, my Texas buddy. How are you, Kathy? Good to see you, hear you, read you. So I was interviewed on her channel some months ago. I guess it was in November of 2022, if I remember right. November 11th, actually. Yeah, it was November because it was on Veterans Day. That's how I remember it. Yeah. Chad's from 150 miles south of you. Yeah, south is about right, I'd say. Yeah. Smash that like button. Okay, yeah, she knows the protocol. I'm not a great advertiser, I guess. It's all good at the ranch. Well, a little cool, I'm sure. Got to keep those critters warm. Just finished recording another cover. Oh, good. She sings in the bathroom, guys. That's what she did you have you done it out in the open now? Where are you recording from, Kathy? Yeah, check out my interview. I'll put up a link there if you want. Then I don't know if you can do that or not. No, yeah, that you're right. No Countdown to Ecstasy SACD. That really has been a mystery, delayed. Drew's in Corpus. Okay. She graduated to the living room to record on the computer. Oh, okay. All right. She's gotten out of the bathroom. All right. That's good. Still waiting on his next big reissue. Yeah, me too. Yeah, I mean, he he leads a bit with that, and then there's this time gap, and it seems like forever, right? I mean, that's kind of the way that works. I know we kind of knew I knew there was going to be two Marleys. He had said there were going to be, after the first one came, he said, yeah, that there would be a second one. So that one really didn't surprise me. You have to remember to turn off the turtle tank pumps. The sound of fountains in the background. But you see, if the song you pick is Tiny Bubbles by Don Ho, then the bubbles will work out just fine. So it's a matter of setting and mood and context. So it could work with some songs. Or you could sing a Turtles song like Happy Together, and maybe it would sound appropriate. I don't know, just some random thoughts, which most of my thoughts are pretty random, as you might know. There's an idea. Yeah. There you go. That's all it takes. Oh. But yeah, so I'm wondering what the next big release on that's going to be as well. I've been reading some comments on the MoFi side where people have had pre-orders in, or pre-orders in for a while on albums that they thought it was awaiting repress. And I think I just read Breakfast in America. They're not making any more of those now. I'm not sure. I guess time may have ran out on the agreement. A lot of those are time based or quantity based, and I don't recall that it was quantity based. I think they may have run out of time on that. So Jerry says, I think I'm just going to wait for Asia regular AP whenever they get to that point. Yeah, I hope they get to that point. Yeah, well, I'm going to get the Asia UHQR, so I'll definitely do a review on it. I've got quite a few. I don't think I have the Cisco, but only took 4 years for Amused to Death, the box set. Yeah, the 45 RPM. I've got the non-box, the one that came out a few years ago. I've got that one. And I honestly, I got to look, guys. I can't remember for sure. I just want to say I haven't even opened it. But well, there's my MoFi of Asia, which some people like, some people hate. Roger Waters. Why isn't that coming out? Maybe I got it under W. I probably have it under W. I started changing my, well, it's in here somewhere. Oh, I may have it over in my other stack. Okay, it may not be here. I don't know if any of you ever seen any of these, by the way. They're called the, how's that look? Master File series. Oh, I got to get that in the light the right way. Sorry. Audio file series, master file series. MCA has these. I think they're out of Canada. These were really good. They were really, really good. So if you ever see these, maybe it'll light up a little better. I don't know. Yeah. Master file series. Those sound really great. You know, these old super discs. Now, this one's a DBX. Oh, there it is. DBX. You got to have a DBX compressor expander. In this case, an expander to play this. It doesn't sound good at all if you don't play it without it. But those are really good sounding. As were a lot of the Nautiluses were pretty good too. Super Disc, Nautilus. Those were good audiophile labels as well. Yeah, if you had the extra money, you would. Yeah, no, I know. I understand. It is expensive, and I only am buying the ones that I really, really like, which were Can't Buy a Thrill, Asia, and Gaucho were the ones that I ordered. I might get Pretzel Logic when it comes out. Oh, sorry, Novus Nick. I didn't see you there, buddy.
No worries.
There you
Worth
are.
every penny. Worth every penny.
Worth every penny. Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal.
And it was a lot of pennies.
That was a lot of pennies.
Yeah.
How long did you have it on order?
Actually, I didn't have it on pre-order. It became available, and I just nabbed it while it was available. I figured this one might not last too long, but I don't know how many. I don't think it's a limited pressing, but they're going to run them, and then they'll go away for a long time again, I'm assuming.
Okay.
I mean, it's the 45, you know, and a lot of people don't care for 45s, but
right.
If you're going to me, getting up doesn't bother me.
Oh, yeah, Jerry. Okay, there's Jerry. He has a DBX.
The quality of the sound that I'm receiving.
Yeah.
You know, some things are just worth it. And I hate to send dollars Waters' way, but it's an outstanding LP. So
You said you hate to send dollars. What? I'm sorry. Water's Way. Okay, I got you.
yeah,
Yeah, me too.
yeah. I,
Yeah.
I
Well,
didn't want.
I
I
bought
didn't want.
mine several years ago. And I yeah, I wouldn't.
But I'm imagining today the lion's share goes to production and everybody else, and slim pickings at the end.
Yeah,
But
because I
whatever,
think I
it's a
think those
great
agreements
product.
were done. I think those agreements were done a long time ago. So you're probably
Yeah,
right. But
yeah.
yeah,
It it's the first time actually that and that was done by Chad, right?
oh yeah.
It's the first time I
Although I think
received.
RTI actually, I think pressed it possibly. I don't remember
Yeah,
who pressed it, but I think it was
for,
RTI.
first time I got a split seam, and I can't tell how long. I can't
Really?
recall, and it was immediately taken care of.
Oh,
Uh,
cool.
oh yeah, but when I contacted and actually I purchased it like to support the small guy through Mike Esposito, the InGroove
Okay.
plug there, and I let him know, and bang, and I think I got them before I actually got an email back, or I got the email back the same day. I mean, it was quick. They've always been very responsive. You
Yeah.
know, yeah, he runs a great ship over there. So I'm glad that now, I for those kind of dollars, you don't want split seams, especially on I hate to call it a trophy LP, but I guess that's what it is. You
Yeah.
know, you don't buy 45s of everything, just the ones that are really outstanding.
No, no, no. And
You know,
that the thing Charlie said about ruins the flow. I mean, yeah, a lot of albums really are not good candidates. Like, Close to the Edge by Yes, for example. Not a
yeah,
great
yeah.
candidate.
But it isn't Fragile a pretty crammed LP,
Well, not Fragile, but Close to the Edge. Fragile's
right?
out. Fragile is out on a one step. It has a 2x45, but Close to the Edge is like a side.
Yeah,
All
can you find me one of those, please, at a reasonable price?
what? Yes, Fragile.
Yeah, on a
Uh,
45.
I got one. I never opened it though. To be honest
Oh,
with you,
what? I don't blame you.
yeah.
That's an
I'm
outstanding
torn.
LP.
I know it is. But I'm
Yeah,
torn.
I have a few I'm torn whether or not I'm ever going to open too. So
Yeah.
I understand the sentiment. Isn't that no, which one was that? You have a a velvet covered LP, don't you? Experience? No. Who was it?
No, I don't.
Hendrix?
Yeah, Hendrix
Yeah.
had one, but I don't think I have it.
Oh, I thought you had it
No,
in
I
one.
don't think I have it. No.
Didn't I didn't I triple dog dare you to open some record you had sealed? I forget.
Not me.
Huh,
Triple
I
dog.
could have swore it was you.
Wasn't
Uh,
me.
I
No.
better take my meds.
Well, let me put it this way. If I did, I wasn't in my normal state of mind, whatever that might be. But
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Those two terms ever crossed paths?
no, never. Not in the same
Okay.
sentence. Not in the same sentence. But
Sentence, paragraph, whatever.
yeah, something like
Oh, I always enjoy when you're up here.
yeah.
You bring so much to the community. You really do, and I appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate that. I had a guy who commented here tonight about the MoFi, the thing I did on MoFi and Analog Productions and wearing tape, how tape is wearing, and
Yeah,
some of these
yeah,
DSD are really to try to capture that, before it's gone. I
yeah.
said there's only one thing worse than a second generation, and that's the loss of a first generation without a backup.
Absolutely.
You know,
Well,
so
at this point in time, it should be criminal to not have a backup.
yeah,
I mean, don't you
yeah, no,
think? It
oh
it
yeah,
really should be.
oh yeah,
It's so easy to, and that comes from people where thousands of people don't have backups to their hard drives or to lots of things that they, or your music files have a terabyte of
sure.
music files that I have four backups.
Yeah, well, I've got one in the safe here, one in the safe at the bank. I got,
Right,
so
right,
it's like,
exactly.
but it's so easy to do, with the cloud now. You can just automatically just, and they have
Yeah.
redundancy in their capabilities. It's
Yep.
cheap to do. It's
Yep.
really cheap. I don't like putting it out in the cloud only because other people could potentially get to it. That's what I don't like
Right.
about that.
Well, yeah, I don't use the cloud. I'll use a hard drive and just move it back and forth. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Now my
I'm
phone, I'll back
fortunate.
it up to the cloud. My phone, I back up to the
Yeah,
cloud.
sure.
Yeah, just because it's so easy to restore.
Yep.
So Charlie said
Yeah.
the master disc sounds good. I don't know if he meant the Roger Waters or the Yes album. Which one are you talking about, Charlie?
Probably both.
Master.
CD.
Well, it's a CD.
Oh, of which LP though? Yeah.
Well, master disc. It sounds like that might be Columbia.
Well,
And
I thought that.
if it's Columbia, it's not going to be Yes because they're on Atlantic.
Right.
You know, but
Hello, Charlie.
hello redundancy. I was going
Yes.
through I'm just going through my duplicates. I mean, I got to do something about my duplicates. I need to have an auction or something. Yeah.
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 Well, you have fine. Your taste in music is runs along mine, so you
Probably.
make sure I'm in on that auction.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. And I'm out hunting quite a few pieces. You know.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Always, trying to
Yeah.
upgrade. I think I ended up with, matter of fact, Felipe, one of the jazz bums. I
Yeah.
just got a Dark Side of the Moon. He says it's a Brazil press.
Okay.
Now I'm pretty sure they use the American plates, and he says it doesn't have the amount of bass that the better ones have. But I'll compare it to the other, I don't know, 5 or 6 that I have.
Yeah.
I don't. I need to sell them all and get a decent pressing, but they're kind of up there now.
They can be. The one that I like the best for the money is a Toshiba EMI Pro Use series. It's a Japanese, and these they vary. But my point is, it's for what you get. This is just barely one step below like the -2 -3. I mean, it is.
Really?
Yeah, and
Nice.
it is. I think like I've seen them go for like 125.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah. So
I mean, for a good,
right when you compare it to that, yeah, when you compare
right.
it to
What year was that pressing? Do you know?
I have to look at my Discogs real quick to see because I don't remember off the top of my.
Yeah, I am lost without my Discogs. Matter of fact, I'm in the middle of reorganizing my records, and I've
Physically?
decided, yeah, physically, and I've decided to follow Discogs pattern. So I'll be able to just go to Discogs, look what I want to play, and go pick it out of the rack without any confusion
That's
or
what
idea. Or I
that's
can
what I
tell
did.
anybody.
That's what I.
Yeah, yeah. Mine was done by my alphabetical order, but I think we've had several live streams where, well, which for Elton John is Elton or John? How many Johns are there? Or,
Right.
there's just so many that you go by both names. They're interchangeable.
Yeah.
So which one do you use? And you go to your rack and you're like, okay, which way am I going to file this? So I let Discog be the final authority on that.
Yeah, because that way, if I scroll through Discogs, I can go right through my collection in the same.
Right.
Yeah. So that was a 78 release, and
78.
yeah, and it well, I don't know. I got to look in the U.S. where they're for sale, but U.S. there's only 6 for sale.
Really?
120 here, 124.99. Boy, am I good or what? It was 20.
Yeah.
BG
Well, I
Plus.
told you you were a great source of information.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, so you can get them in that price range.
I'm horrible at finding things on Discogs. I just hadn't had enough time to figure it all out. I've only been using Discogs for the past, I don't know, 8 months.
Okay, well, here's a link I just sent you
Maybe.
there. In there, you can. That's a link to
Thank you.
take you right to what's for sale on there, but of that
that's
version.
awesome.
Yeah, but
Greatly appreciated.
That's a great sounding copy of it. I had a copy. I had the MFSL UHQR sealed, and I sold it for $1,200 in 2012. In 2012, it probably gets more than that now, but
does it? I don't know.
but it was sealed.
Sealed, yeah, the
Yeah,
sealed.
yeah, it was sealed.
And that's why we have a few LPs that we haven't opened yet.
Mhm.
You have two other copies. You don't know if they sound better or worse than the sealed copy.
Yeah.
But yep,
But I'm still trying to get a Nightfly by Donald Fagen. That's my kind of my one of my grails.
the
One step.
45.
One step, yeah.
Oh, well, one step. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I'm hoping I see one at the show I'm going to tomorrow, so we'll see.
Where's the show at?
Here in Dallas Fort Worth area.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah, yeah. So about a 30-minute drive, not too bad. So
30-minute drive. I add 2 hours, 3 hours to that for me to find.
sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I wish Discogs, eBay. I actually got on Discogs. Just got it the other day. It was Heart's Little Queen.
Okay.
I wore my original out
Hmm,
from one groove, I think, to the backside groove.
really.
Yeah, we in our youth we played it a lot, and it's such a good LP. So I found
Yeah.
one, and I asked the guy the condition. And he said, "Well," and he was so super honest and detailed. He said, "You might not want this one because." I'm
Hmm.
like, I said, "Well, you know what I see out there, I'm not going to find much better." I said, "If it's decent." Well, I didn't even clean it. I dropped a needle on it last night, and it's right on. It was sweet. I mean, no background noise. No, it was
Here's what
beautiful.
I found.
The only thing
Yeah.
he mentioned was a little mark on the cover. I was
Oh yeah.
like,
That's
and
yeah.
and that was it. I was like,
Yeah.
well, that doesn't happen every day, you know.
Yeah.
But so,
Yeah. I
but
got
he
one
didn't
of
have
those.
anything else I liked.
Yeah, I knew I've got that. I got actually the Santa Maria press, which is they did some good work in the Santa Maria plant. CBS.
Yeah.
It's one of the better plants they had.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Heart. I like. I think Dreamboat Annie. I like that. Probably that's their best album for me, at least. I like.
Yeah, that's a good LP. I have that one, and I think I have the two of them. Those two LPs of theirs.
Yeah, I think I have one other one by them. It was an early one they did
Let's see.
that came out later. It came out.
Dog and Butterfly.
No, it wasn't. It was before those. It was before they signed with CBS.
Oh, okay.
It was a portrait. It was before they signed with them, actually. Uh,
Oh
well, you
well.
look up the word heart. You can't. I mean, you get a million records showing up in your list.
Yeah, yeah. It's a pretty popular.
A good word.
Let's see. Yep, June 5th of 78. That one.
Yep, yep. That's when that pro use was done.
Whoa, they go from 125 and jump.
Yep. There's two that are 125, and then they jump.
Oh, near mint, near mint. The others are very good.
Yeah, the other there are two. Well, the one on top was very good. Plus on the media, and then the sleeve was VG. I think. If I remember.
Right, yeah. They both are the top
Okay.
two.
Top two.
One,
They're about the same
yep.
price. So.
And then it jumps $125.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So.
Yep. I'm going to mute for a second. I got a cough. Excuse me.
Okay, no problem. So yeah, anybody here see oh, what was it? I think I've talked about that that show that's on Prime. It's called. I think I put it on my want list. Let's see here. Let me look here real quick. List. I'm looking for the Beatles mono collection. It's like BC13 stereo, but it's red box, I think, for the mono. Anybody knows there's one out there for that? Well, I'm not finding what I'm looking for. It's a band, you guys. It's on Amazon Prime. It's a series like a It's not like a documentary because it's not a real band. Something in the Six. I remember it has to do with something in the Six, but I thought I put it in my want list, but I don't see it. Oh, Daisy Jones and the Six. That's what it's called. Daisy Jones and the Six. It's a good. It's a little bit like Almost Famous kind of thing, but it's got like episodes. It's not just a movie, and it's got a lot of good music in it as well. Good music in it, yeah. So if you like those kind of things, rockumentaries or whatever you want to call them, that's a pretty interesting one to look at.
Don't know that one.
Don't know that one? Yeah, it's new. It just came out in the
Oh,
last
did it?
month or two, if that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it just it's a Amazon Prime. They did it. Amazon did the.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
they produced it and all that good stuff. So one of those more independent kind of things, but
Right.
it's
Yeah.
it's good. It has a little bit of flavor of like Laurel Canyon, that kind of stuff. It's in that same genre kind of thing. So it's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting. What kind of turntable do you use, Nick?
I have a Riga RP6.
6, okay.
Yep. And with a Nia Pro moving coil, a Lehman Decade connected to a Macintosh C 220 tube preamp. Then a set of monoblock tube amps by Bob Latino.
Yeah.
Yep. And Paradigm Studio 100s.
That's some pretty rich blood there, buddy.
Well, I'm a happy camper. The missus is into it, so I am very blessed.
Helpful. That's helpful.
Yes, and everything was most of it I tried to get at the opportune times.
Sure, I get you. Yeah,
absolutely. And let's see, but the turntable and the cartridge, there was no finding a better deal. So no. So, but I would have to go a lot more dollars to find a better, I think, setup as far as turntable goes. The cartridge costs as much as the turntable.
Yeah.
And the two most important things I think are cartridge and consistent, speed. The turntable came with the speed control, the external speed control.
Oh yeah,
and,
that's right. Yeah.
And Riga's known for their tone arms, so it's not the greatest, but it makes great sound to me.
Yeah.
And yep. So I'm a happy camper there. Tubes, when I finally dove into tubes, it just made a world of difference. As far as analog goes, solid state just isn't for me anymore. I had the Macintosh came with what do they call them? Gold line tubes in it, and boy, it almost sounded analytical, almost digital. It was very analytical. So I put in some what are I changed out the tubes in it, and it really softened it up and made it really nice. I'm horrible with names. I think it begins with an L. Not Lufkins. Oh well, it'll come to me.
Yeah, I hear. Well, that's the one thing about it with tubes. You can change the sound with different tubes.
Oh, it absolutely did.
Yeah.
It did. I was fortunate that it didn't take me a ton of tubes to get to where I was happy with it. Okay. Now, I changed the tubes that came in the mono blocks as well. They went from C34s, and then so now I have the K120s, and I'll tell you what, it belts out some quality sound and volume that I was surprised because they're only, I think they're rated at 70 watts,
Mm.
but 2 watts are much different. It's,
Oh yeah.
than solid state.
Yeah.
Now the solid state amps I have model box there again, and they're the Emotiva XPR ones, and
Mm.
that's a 100-pound 1,000-watt amp, 1,750 watts at 4 ohms. So I can dim the lights if I wanted to, but
Yeah.
it's overkill. It gives all those extra watts really are never used. I mean,
No,
speakers barely, but the headroom
it's headroom.
changes. Yeah, it changes the characteristics of the speaker. I've seen cheap Clips speakers in here, horn loaded,
Yeah.
and they became huge monsters in comparison to what they sounded like on,
Oh yeah.
100 watts.
Yeah. Well,
So I'm
headrooms.
I'm a firm
Headroom's
believer in
everything.
headroom.
Headroom's
Yep,
everything. That's
firm
why
believer.
I bought NAD equipment because they were all about the wattage looks low,
Yep.
but then they could drive 3 dB headroom, and they could even
Yep.
drive a 2 ohm load and give you almost 300 watts. So uh
Right.
I mean, you got
That's what
it's
it's about.
smart. I call it smart power, not just
Mm-hmm.
'cause a lot of these things, they say 100 watts, that means that's what it'll peak at or clip at, but it has really no
Yeah.
headroom to it.
Yeah. And when a lot of people don't say, okay, let's say it's rated for 100 watts. The usable watts,
Yeah, right.
that sound clean
Yeah,
are,
exactly.
maybe 3/4 of that, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. No,
You
it's
know,
true. Yeah, it's a
but I'm
whole
also a home
right.
I'm also a home theater enthusiast as well.
Okay.
Yes, and the missus is as well. I mean, she's into the whole. I don't know how I got that lucky
Yeah,
unicorn.
you're
I'll
right.
tell you
You're
what.
right. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
she she has such a, and I've heard this to be true that women have better hearing than men. But I was playing a record. A friend of mine lent me the Macintosh uh, preamp, and I was listening to a record. I forget which one, and my wife walked by the room and she got another 2 steps and she turned around, came in, plopped down, said, I don't know what it is, but you're keeping it. I said, what are you talking about? She goes, something significantly
Um,
increased the
yeah,
beauty of the music in here.
yeah.
I was
And it
like,
wasn't
well,
your
honey,
looks.
no. She already knew I was all that and then some.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why
right.
she said I
Yeah.
do.
See that my wife, yeah, my wife can't tell the difference that much in stuff. She's one of those
Oh,
that
yeah.
almost always sounds the same to me. So it makes
Well,
it
like I
difficult.
said, I have a unicorn.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
because she
Yeah,
sat down and I said, "Well, honey, it's a Macintosh." She didn't know what that meant. I said, "Lots of dollar signs, hon." She goes,
yeah,
"I don't
right.
care." And my wife, she has her milk money from childhood.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
if yeah, she's one of
Yeah,
those,
I
but
get.
she's like, "Oh
Yeah,
yeah, we're getting it." Yeah,
frugal,
our
but
age, we know what we're talking about. These kids don't know what we're talking about.
yeah. Well, you say Macintosh, they say, why would you plug it into your computer? What are you talking about? Why would
Right,
you?
right, right. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Too funny. But you're right.
Well, I what
But
the Macintosh got bought, right? They just got bought like 6 months ago. That
again,
company, a company, yeah, and it sounded like it wasn't going to be a great marriage, so to speak,
oh, that would be a
like
shame
a
because
financial
you,
investment firm or something.
yeah, but I mean, you can still get equipment repaired and fixed
Oh yeah,
that's 50 years old.
oh yeah,
They'll just go in the back and grab the part off the shelf. I was like, wait, what?
yeah,
That's one of the things you're paying for.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I hope it doesn't damage the brand
I hope not too.
because
I mean,
it happens. But I've had, knock wood, no problems with it. I love it. It sounds great, looks pretty. So, and I have
how
my.
long do you wait? How long do you wait for your tubes to warm up before it sounds good? Would you say, unless you keep
I would
mono?
say No, you can't you can't cook tubes that they literally cook at 300 to 350
Yeah,
degrees.
I know, I
And
know.
each monoblock, okay, has 4 of them. So it gets warm in here.
I
The
know.
optimal amount of time I would say is between 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to say I've got a Sherwood amp that's a tube, and if I don't wait at least a half an hour, it doesn't. You can tell the sound isn't as good. It's definitely not as
Right.
good.
Well, it sounds good straight from the start, but my tubes are broken and but it just seems to get better and once it hits
Richer.
that 30-minute mark. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it sounds richer. Yeah,
Right. And once it hits that 30-minute mark, it plateaus and it just stays.
right.
And it's very nice.
Yeah.
And of course it has the triode switch on it. But
Hmm. Well, the problem is once you get one of those, it's hard to go back.
yeah,
Once
yeah.
you get the tubes, it's
Yeah, I don't use my solid state amps for music.
mm,
Uh no. I Nope, I don't. I use that for the home theater because I also have a streamer, and a DAC, separate streamer and DAC. And I'll run that through the tubes as well.
mm.
Yep. So, but home theater,
Whoop, somebody's signal got knocked. Sounds like his tubes knocked out his internet.
that
You're digitized, Nick. Hello. He's about as frozen as a polar bear in Alaska right now. Wow. He went from hot tubes to frozen.
that's the 60.
He's he's trying to make a comeback. You got to pay your internet bill, Nick. You got to pay your internet bill.
Well, there I am.
Yeah, there you are. There you're back.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
back.
you were frozen. You went from hot tubes to being frozen.
That doesn't happen.
No. Yeah, you were digitized there, man. You were just like,
I don't know what happened there.
I don't
But
know.
yeah,
Yeah.
the home theater, I have the Atmos and speakers in the ceiling, and I have 2 subwoofers. Each one has two 15-inch drivers in it.
So
And
7.2 or 9.2 or what is it?
well, let's see, it's a 7.2 plus 4 Atmos speakers.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So yeah, it's my center channel, which is in home theater, the most important speaker in the room.
Yeah, because that's your voice of stuff mainly,
Right.
right?
And it's about 6 inches shorter than my towers. It's a big center
Wow.
channel. Yeah.
Wow.
And it sounds impressive.
It's
But
vertical?
yeah.
Really? Most of them are horizontal.
No, it's horizontal. It's just that
Oh,
long.
that
Yeah,
long.
can't say
That's what
yeah.
she said. Okay.
And then she fled the room for some
Yes,
reason.
right. Yeah, I don't know why. Yes. Want to
I
see my
don't
center
think
channel?
so.
Want to see my
Yeah.
center channel?
Oh Lord, we're terrible. But yeah,
Terrible.
it has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 drivers in it
Oh my gosh.
in the center channel. Yep. Yeah, so and the other one's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drivers in the towers. Well,
Hmm.
shoot, my surrounds have 5 speakers in each one.
Wow.
It's a complicated system,
Oh yeah.
but
Do you play any multi-channel SACDs or Blu-rays or DVD audio or anything like that?
sometimes, yeah. I
Okay.
I haven't had a lot of time. I have some 5 easy for me to say, wasn't it?
Apparently.
Yeah, I had some 5-channel Blu-rays and such, and
Mhm.
SACDs. I haven't had time in a long time to do a whole lot and play around. I find that ultimately my love lies with the turntable.
Sure. Yeah, I get
It's,
it. Yeah, me too.
you know, it's every now and then I'll put on a concert, a video concert, you know,
Hmm.
but usually, nah, let me drop a needle. I'm a happy camper,
Hmm.
you know, and it's either that or I'm on YouTube with you guys. Otherwise, I don't have time.
Yeah. Well,
But I'm not
I've got a 4-channel vinyl too, so I've got multi-channel in my vinyl.
really.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a lot of 4-channel albums from the 70s.
Okay.
Quite a few.
But do you have the receiver for it?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
QX949. Yeah,
Oh,
Pioneer.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, there you go.
it decodes all of them. So, yeah.
Sweet.
So, yeah, I enjoy that. Just a little different mix on those usually then, so it just sounds a little
Mm-hmm.
different just for the difference in it. But
Yeah, I like the quad cut on a lot of the LPs. I have a few of them. I wish you could find more, but
mhm,
some of them sound really great, and some are okay.
right. Yeah.
But the cut is definitely different than the stereo or mono.
Yeah.
Yep. I think was it Patrick likes them as well.
Yeah.
The quad. Yep.
Hmm. Yeah.
But
Yeah. He brings a few quads into his shootouts when he does compares.
hmm yeah. And you can tell. Usually, you can tell which one
Yeah.
it
That's what happened
is.
on Can't Buy a Thrill. I'm like, it was C. I know it was C because the mix
Yeah.
is different.
Yep.
So it's,
It's like
he's
a
like,
childhood game. Which one doesn't
yeah,
belong?
right, exactly. Right, right. Yeah, exactly. So it's
I just recently freed up a whole lot of time. I retired from chairman of the board of our local convention and visitors bureau,
oh, that would
and
be, yeah, that would give you a little time back.
well, last year was time consuming to the 10th because we were searching for a new executive director. The old
Mhm.
executive director retired after 18 years,
Mm.
so it was a tough search and find, but we it took us a year to do it too, because we're a small market, you
Yeah,
know, so it's the parameters are very different. Don't have the huge dollars that, large cities have. We don't have
sure.
the huge attractions. I mean, so
Right.
we had a lot of things, but we have some youth in there now, and it's good. I said, have fun, enjoy.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
gonna I'm
Exactly.
gonna reclaim a lot of my life because
Yeah.
I was working my restaurant, and I was over there 3, sometimes 4 days a week. You know, just trying to get things done, meetings, and
Hmm.
day-to-day stuff, and
Yeah.
so it was nice to I haven't really fully reclaimed my life yet, so.
You're trying to phase out, I guess.
Well, I'm still on the board of the Restaurant Association and probably will be. I've been on
Mm.
that board for 30 years and the
Mm.
CVB board for close to 20. This was my first year executive director, and of course, it was the hardest year out of the 20 years because we were
Of
searching
course.
for an exec. Yeah. All
Yeah.
the other years, being a board member is easy. You go, you listen, you vote on a couple of things, you're done for the month.
Yeah. No, no, when you're looking for a search, that's it.
Yeah. So that's
Who's
me.
there?
My wife's happy.
Yeah.
She was glad that my whole family was great support.
Yeah.
But so now I have more time for music and some of my other passions.
Here's another guy. He's got a QX949 Pioneer 4-channel as well.
Really?
Yeah, JBL 2000 or 2800 speakers. Sorry. Yeah, I run Polk Audio RTA 11s through mine. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because they weren't giving those away, and not everybody held on to them.
No, no, nope, it's true. And they had a they had three they had a 747, an 848, and a 949. I remember they just kind of put them all that way.
I
And
don't know how you get a 747 in the room.
I know it's really tough, and the damn engine noise is so loud.
Mhm. So lifelike and realistic.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
The
exactly.
new quadraphonic
Yeah, right.
from
Got
KTEL.
yeah, 4 engines and 4 channels. Hey.
Yeah. Oh. So what's your next big project? What do we have coming up, coming from you?
Next big project for me is trying to get to a couple of record pressing plants, one in Denver and one in LA. And
you gonna do it in the same trip?
Yeah, I intend to do it in the same trip. Yeah,
great.
But I'm just trying to find a window of time in my schedule. That's because I'm in a theatrical production in April.
Oh, okay.
So I've got rehearsals, pretty much booked between now and then the shows 2 weekends. So, and then then I got a golf tournament the last weekend of April that I'm running. Yeah, so it's going to be May, I think.
Now, are these for business? Are you an actor or are you in production or?
Yeah, I'm an actor, but it's for local theater.
Yeah, I was going to say you're a character, but
yeah, right. Yeah, you don't get paid for it, but I enjoy it. Yeah.
Usually the things we love, we don't get paid for.
Right. Yeah. When I was a disc jockey, I found out you don't get paid very well either. That's why I got out of it.
Yeah, I found there's a lot of people in the vinyl world here in YouTube that were disc jockeys.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, there was this big discussion, I don't know if it's today or yesterday, on monetization of a channel.
Yeah.
I've gotten one check so far and it was like $300 and that's it. And and you look at your stats and all that, and you get, 6,000-7,000 views on this one, 5,000, and then you go look and your account's like $48. It's like, it's just, there's no money to be made. It's no, to be honest with you.
So you now know what it's like to have been an artist in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 80s.
Right. Yeah, Polk monitors, Jerry's. I got a Polk Series 10 monitor, one of the original 10s. They had a 5 and a 10. Polk. I think pretty much all I've owned since the 80s is Polk audio speakers.
Really?
Yep. They just, for my ears, they just fit.
Well, then that's the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as long as your room is happy with them as well.
Exactly.
Now, do you have any soundproofing or bass traps or no type of?
Nope. I wish I did, but this room's multifunctional. I have, it's my office so it's not really laid out in a great
probably
way.
Still some small things you could do to help.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a attorney friend of mine. He was into the vinyl. He had a P3, I think, and he enjoyed it. And I said, well, you have a beautiful room here, and the setup's nice. I said, but you have tiled floors, and when you listen to music, you need to throw your laundry down in front of each speaker, or just as a trial, or you got to put some kind of right, exactly, a rug or something. And he didn't understand it. I said, he said, well, I don't have any rugs. I said, go get your laundry and put it on the floor in front of the speakers. He said, what? He thought I was crazy. I said, just humor me, would you? And okay, he did. He sat down and he gave it an honest listen. God bless you. And he said, my God, I can't believe what a difference. I said, doesn't take a whole lot. Acoustics is a serious field.
Yeah. The problem is he brought wet laundry in. That's the problem.
No, anything's better than that hard reflective surface. It's funny. You walk into a room, and that's the first thing I notice is the acoustics.
Yeah.
I look around to see. I grew up. My father was a contractor, a carpenter, and such by trade. So we did a lot of kitchens and stuff and remodeling. And I walk into a room, and the first thing you do is you look at the corners, you look at the finished detail work. That's when you know whether or not the whole job was done right. Well, now I walk into a room and look at the acoustics of the room. If I see a set of speakers, I'm like, oh no, this has got to go. Or, oh yeah, this will work, without ever turning the power on. Mm.
Wow, that's an interesting comment we got here about the Audio Technica LP120 with a Shure M24H cartridge being able to decode CD4, because the wiring has to have a certain ability for that carrier signal, because those cartridges have to get up over 30,000 hertz, because that carrier signal runs an FM modulated signal at 30,000 to split the channels on those CD4 records. So I'm really surprised that Audio Technica can do it. That's great. I didn't know that. Yeah, that's really good. I've got a dual 1245, and it actually was built for CD4. It even has an anti-skate adjustment for CD4. So it was made back then for that. So, but yeah, that's good to know. And I noticed you didn't say it's a LP120X, because those are newer, the X's, and the X though doesn't allow the tone arm to raise up and down, the whole thing. It can raise to get your alignment correct. The
Right.
X, they took away that capability. So you're better off to have an LP120 without the X, because you have more variability on the vertical adjustment on those. So
yeah, sometimes you wonder what those engineers were thinking. Saving dollars, I guess, but
yeah.
I have a 1969 dual sitting at the restaurant.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I would like to get it serviced. It has the fold down door with the spare cartridge and
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. Yep. And I've played some records on it. It sounded pretty good for its age, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I still have the manual that came with it, and they were talking about how to set it up for playing when you're at sea. As in a naval ship. And I was like, I would have liked to know the full history of that turntable, but it was gifted to me.
Yeah.
I said, this is something that, when it comes with instructions on how to play it at sea, I mean, that's pretty deep. So I was, thinking military or a cruise ship or something. I don't know.
Well, that's a German turntable. So
yeah,
there you go.
They're pretty detailed when they do something. That's for sure.
Yeah, they're automatic changers are complicated mechanisms.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I looked underneath it.
Work on them. You got to find the right person to work on those that know what they're doing.
Yeah, because you're right. I looked it's on a spring base. Well,
yeah,
kind of like, yeah. So, and to move it, you have to lock it down and all that. And I learned a lot about it, but to look at the underneath side of it, the mechanics of it is like, wow, I wouldn't know where to start.
Yeah.
Okay.
They even had a switch circuit in there that would when the needle was dropping, it disconnected the basically the cartridge from going through the wiring to the amp until it sat in the groove, and then it would open it up so you wouldn't get that thud. And
right.
It did the same thing at the end.
Okay. Wow. Incredible.
Yeah. So just little things they thought of,
yeah.
So yeah, they're finicky though. That's the thing about them. They get out of alignment or something. They're finicky. That's the only thing about them.
That's one of the reasons I like the Riga. And basically, people say, "Oh, they don't keep proper speed." I said, "I have an electronically controlled speed box. It keeps perfect speed."
Yeah.
And then not anti-skate. The what do you call it? The tilt of the cartridge itself. But I love mine. It's pretty easy to set up, and you're rocking and rolling in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
At the most. So
yeah, I think a lot of it is what you're paying for the tone arm. I think really that mechanism on the Rigas.
Yeah. Well, the tone arm and the speed box. Well, it depends on
which... not all the models have speed box, though, right?
Right. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It depends on which one you get.
Yeah,
But
they seem to me, they just seem a little overpriced to me. That's why I always wonder what's the additional value you get. It's kind of like when you compare Apple computers and Windows computers, right? You pay a lot more for an Apple computer. What's the reason for the huge price difference? I always wondered on the Riga
right.
what it really is.
Well, I've never analyzed the whole bit. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, who was Michael 45,
Hmm.
the guy that made his Einsteins. Have you ever seen his first video about?
No.
Well, the guy that created the turntable that he's using, he said he wanted to introduce you to where a lot of his thoughts and ideas came from, and he walked over to a Riga, and
Hmm.
he said it's a genius design and idea, and he went into detail on how it was upgradable and how just the whole idea of how it worked, and that's where he got something. Now, of course, Einstein's more complicated and all that, but the base idea was he brought you over to a Riga, and I forget which
Hmm.
model it was, but I was like, well, how about that? And he claimed that the guy that invented the Riga turntable was a genius. He
Hmm.
said, and going against the grain of what everybody else was saying.
Yeah, I mean, I've read everything I've read about them, and the reviews are
Yeah,
always really strong. So I mean, I know
yeah.
there's something to it, but I've just never been able to put my finger on what it is about them, that
Well, they're not finicky. Once you get them set up right, they have no reason to fall out of alignment or set up, or
mhm,
that's one thing. If you want to upgrade, there's lots of kits, I guess, because they're so popular.
yeah.
Uh, my next right now, mine is as close to a P8. I mean, I could replace the sub platter and maybe put a what do they call it, a Durlan uh, platter on it.
Acrylic?
And that no, it has an acrylic. What
Oh,
do they
okay.
call it? Yeah, it came with an acrylic.
Okay.
Durlan, or what do they call it? Music Direct. Wrong
I don't
platter.
know.
But it's here we go. I'll tell you in a second. Luke Fisher. Okay, Durlan. What do they call parts? Better platter. Come on. So platter. Well, I messed that up, didn't I?
I don't know.
Derlin platter. Delrin. It's a type, I think it's a type of aluminum. It's a pretty dead precious yet.
Hmm.
And they say it's an upgrade, but the one I have, my platter must weigh 5 pounds or so.
Mm,
He doesn't believe you need all that weight to the base and all in
yeah.
order to, it's doesn't resonate sound,
Yeah.
and that's the whole bit about it. So
Right. Right. Yeah. I know exactly. That's you said you got a
the
P6?
RP6, it's an older model. Yep,
Oh,
I've had it for 10 years, and I've knock wood. Haven't I had the exact two on it, which is a moving magnet, and then I said I was talking to Kat out at a dealer out in California. Uh, you've seen his ads. Pretty big distributor for most high end gear.
hmm.
God, I'm horrible with names. But anyway, Kat's had been in the industry. She knows her stuff big time,
Hmm.
and she recommended this cartridge. It's made by Riga. If fit it, I mean, it was basically screw it on, line it up, and you're done.
Hmm.
It's the it's a moving coil, and it's the step up was significant, but it should be going from a $600-700 cartridge to a very expensive cartridge.
What's the name of
Expensive to
that
me.
cartridge?
It's a Ania Pro. They have an Ania, ANIA.
ANIA. Okay.
So the Ania Pro. You can probably just look it up.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat in its design and stuff. And she was right on. It really picked up things. I went back and listened to a lot of the records that I've listened on other cartridges, and there's just more stuff. It gets deeper in the groove, produces more of the music that wasn't there before when I played it. Where'd that come from, right?
Yeah.
So,
I'm looking at what kind of stylus it has on it. Let's see if it says all the specs there, but that. Let me see if I search for stylus.
I'm not sure if it's they call it a fine line.
It says elliptical diamond. It just says elliptical stylus cantilever. So just elliptical. Okay. I thought maybe it was like a micro line or something like that, because those get deeper. Shibata,
right?
They get deeper into there.
Now, are you looking at the Ania or the Ania Pro?
Pro.
Okay.
Yeah, the Pro. Anyone having a user opinion on the Sumiko Amethyst cartridge? No, I haven't. I haven't heard any Sumikos. I've seen them, but I haven't ever really heard any, so I can't comment on it. Anybody else out there? What do you use for your phono stage, Nick?
I have a Lehman Decade.
Okay, Lehman Decade. Okay.
Yeah, and that's pretty adjustable, and it's not the newest thing out, but it's got a pretty good reputation, and it has a couple adjustments on it where I could add more bass to it if I want straight from it. It's a two-piece, 2 units. One part's the phono stage, and the other's the power supply to it. So they're separated physically from each other.
Yeah,
which I'm a firm believer in. Whenever you can do that, my streamer's the same way. It has a separate power supply.
Yeah, I bought a where's it at? I bought a Graham Slee phono stage recently, and out of Britain, and it's it's got a separate power supply unit too, and it made a huge difference.
Yeah,
it made a huge difference.
Matter of fact, on my DAC, it had a plug-in. It has an internal power supply, or I can bypass that, and it has a plug-in where you can use an external power supply. And when I put the external up to it, it made a pretty big difference. Yeah, it is a little pricey on the power supply, but
yeah, I think the one for this is $200. I think this one.
Yeah, this was a BOTW. What do they call this? Oh, but everybody seems to like them that's ever bought them. Best of the world, I think the BOTW stands for.
SL1610. Okay. Moving magnet, which is fine on that Sumiko. I just don't. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I really find it. For me, it's like God. I gotta hear the cartridge to know if I'm going to like it or not.
Right.
I mean, that's
well. I found the dealer, and they were willing to take it back if I didn't like it. It was Upscale Audio.
Upscale Audio. Okay.
Yeah, Kevin's his name, that owns Upscale, and they're out of California, very reputable company, and everyone's ever bought from them that I've talked to said they were outstanding. And Kat's been with them for years. She does a lot of master work and in the audio field as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I can't recall her last name. I have it on my Rolodex. But anytime I ever have a question, she gave me a personal cell, and she does that for all the customers. I mean, I couldn't believe the level, but I guess the people that are really into it, that
Oh yeah.
know what they're doing, that's the way they run their business, and that's why they're successful.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. When I lived in Houston, I had a shop I used called Audio Trends, and the guy there, yeah, he and I would talk offline and that too. So I mean, it's yeah, you find a good resource and somebody that's going to clue you in on new stuff and
Yeah.
you know let you know when a deal's coming or some used equipment comes in that's really up your alley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Cabinet upscale audio.
Test out a cartridge. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, because I mean, the other thing is, I mean, you've got two transducers basically in your system, your cartridge and your speakers. And
Yep.
those two things have probably the most impact
Yeah.
on the way it sounds. And yeah, it is difficult. And it's like there's this one called Nagaoka. It's a Japanese MP110, and it's like kind of the standard bearer, and it's like $175, and it seems like everybody loves it. But when I listen to it, it sounds so neutral. It just has no personality. It just for me
Yeah.
now, when I
Right.
listened to the MP200 and the MP300 and 500, they had better characteristics. But the
Right.
110 to me was just, I don't know. It just didn't do anything for me. I don't know why.
Well, that's why they make chocolate and vanilla.
Yeah, right.
Right. And
Yeah.
strawberry and all the others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Klipsch corn walls. Yeah. You're not going to be toting those around anywhere. That's for sure.
Yeah.
The day of the test drives at home are long gone. Yeah, you're right. I mean, the day of, even sound rooms. I mean, going to some
Yeah.
place and,
That's gone. Yeah.
short of Best Buys have a thing called Magnolia in some of them, but they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those people, they don't know what the hell they're doing. I mean, it's ridiculous.
No,
I
come
mean,
here, kid. This is what you're doing today.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, they don't. They have no idea, and half of the stuff is set up wrong, and it's a joke, really.
Well, I went to the one. It's about 2 hours south of me, and the size of the room. I mean, the room was ginormous, and it wasn't a room where you could actually listen to the speakers because there was almost no reflective surfaces. They were, you know, 35, 40 feet away, from the speakers. And it
Hmm,
wasn't
hmm.
set up right. It was just, now this isn't real world listening to the speakers and the system. Yeah,
Yeah,
you heard the speaker and you heard, with the amp. I hate to say
yeah,
with the amp because you don't really hear what an amp sounds like. I mean, to a degree, but not so
yeah,
much as the
yeah, yeah.
speaker.
No,
You
the
you
speaker and the cartridge
you,
make the
you
bigger.
you're basically listening to a speaker almost in a field.
Yeah,
I mean, because the room, 12-foot, 14-foot ceilings, and it's just
yeah,
not real world listening versus your space in your house.
yeah. Now there are a couple of high-end shops in Dallas that you can go to that
Oh,
have true
okay,
listening rooms and true
right,
higher end equipment.
yeah,
So, but there is that. But yeah, I mean, by and large, and they're hard. I say hard to find, but it's like there's
yeah.
only a couple of them.
You need a population base. I'm being living in a small town here. I left a huge city, and so I know the huge differences. And people in this community say, "Well, why don't we have this and why don't we have that?" I said, "It's real easy. You have to have a population base, and then only a percentage of that
Yeah,
population is going to be interested in what you're doing."
yeah,
And that's why we don't have it. Well, that doesn't make sense. I'm like, well, go live in a big city for a while and
yeah.
you
Well,
might figure it out.
yeah. Well,
Big city, you can open a shop up that makes just bagels,
yeah,
and if you're doing well, you'll make a living because
yeah.
people will come to you.
Our
But
cheesesteak, right?
right,
Like Philly. It's like,
right. For the longest time, we brought cheesesteaks to the area. We did that 36 years ago. They didn't know what cheese fries were. We
Hmm.
hoagies and oven grinders. They
Yeah.
didn't have a clue, but couldn't expect them to. We were bringing
Yeah.
something different. That was the whole point.
Right. No,
And
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
But now there's other people that have emulated us
Sure.
since opening, but
Sure.
and that's a nice compliment. But
Yeah. Well, as the population moves and morphs into different areas, then that's what
right,
ends up happening.
sure,
It's just that's just kind of the way the world works.
yeah,
The New York
right.
style pizza, Chicago style pizza, all the thin or thick or whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Well, it's like yesterday, uh, had a delivery of pretzels from Philadelphia. My nephew sent us pretzels, and because a Philadelphia pretzel, you just can't get anywhere else, and it is a beast to itself.
hmm,
Now, you can get pretzels made elsewhere, but they won't taste the same.
uh-huh,
And and you can live for a good 6 months on just the pretzels.
yep,
Oh, but and they were I guess 2 day old, and they were wonderful. We really enjoyed them.
it reminds you
But,
back home, right?
but yeah, but more so just the flavor.
Yeah,
You know, there's things like if taste and smells you remember from your first days to your end, I guess.
hmm,
But I can't testify to the end because hopefully I'm not there yet.
yeah, right, right.
Oh, what's going out here in the peanut gallery?
Let's see, Kathy's
Yeah.
there.
Hey, Kath.
Kath, time for you to hit the hay. I got it. Well, good. Thanks for joining. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. You take care. Keep those critters warm out there in the fields in Texas. She's not too far from me. She
Hey,
has a nice,
Yeah.
yeah,
I just reading Prime Analog Records. He said,
yeah,
even if you take all your things into the place, you still can't tell what it sounds like because it's the room.
yeah. Oh, yeah,
You
absolutely.
actually, yeah, you have to, and plus it'd be a lot easier to bring the cartridge to you
Mm,
because your room is such a significant portion of the sound. It's one of the things you buy, but it's one of the things you need to treat
oh,
to
yeah.
place all your gear into.
Oh, yeah.
Right now I'm not in my preferred room of my house, but it's the room I have to do it in. So
Yeah. Right.
I make the best out of it. I have, you know, bass traps and absorbers and reflective surfaces where they need to be, and done the best I can.
Yeah.
But can always be better. But it's not as bad as it was when I first moved into it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So here's a story trying to ask about a Luxman SACD player when a guy went in here and he said he wanted to check one out in the store. And the guy was like, well, I can order one if you want it. It's like, I guess they're not going to actually have one there that you can demo.
Right. Right. Yeah. It's anymore. It's like, well, then how do you buy the piece of gear? You have to go to,
But it's,
going to the shows. Okay.
yeah, but even, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
It's, we just discussed all that. Unless you listen to headphones and you can take your headphones with you.
Not dropping out 10K with us. Yeah, well, of course not.
Right. Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
most of the things I've had to buy with the possibilities of returning,
Hmm.
and back when I got most of my gear, I was able to do that. Now the speakers, no, but I actually listened to those, uh, firsthand in a shop.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's true. I mean, it's
But anymore, I don't know how you gonna buy gear. That fortunately, I had someone on another forum comment today. They said, "You must be happy, Nick, because we haven't heard you talking about buying, selling, trading." I said, "Well, I'm happy with my gear."
yeah, right.
I
Yeah.
says, so instead of doing all that, it provides more time for listening.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
No,
Well,
that's
I
what you
gotta
want to
get to
do.
work tomorrow myself.
I got to go
Yes,
to a
sir.
record show tomorrow morning. I got to
Oh,
leave at 7, so
oh, happy
start
hunting
early.
to you.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm looking forward to maybe a few finds for a change.
You gonna live stream it all?
I may, yeah, I may try to do that. Yeah, I may
Okay,
try to do
I'll
that.
look
But I'll
for you
definitely
if I.
if not, I'll take some video and put up something on it. One of the two.
Yeah,
Kind of depends
that'll
on
be
the connection.
enjoyable.
Kind of depends on the connection where I'm at, right? You know.
Right, absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
you're in the city, so yeah, but that
Yeah, but
doesn't
then when you're in
mean
a
anything.
building, you never know. There's
Right, yeah,
all sorts of variables, right? So,
yeah. The
well,
the the
everybody,
cone
thanks.
of silence.
The Conus, yeah, Maxwell Smart. There you go. By the way, Barbara Feldman from that show is 91 years old,
Oh,
and she
God
just came
bless.
out with a book called Getting Smarter.
Did she really?
Yeah, I just heard that
That
today.
should be an interesting read.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I liked her. She was funny. She
it
was
was a different world back then. All right.
Thanks everybody. Take care of yourself. Stay
Thank
safe
you
and
so
warm.
much.
See you, Nick. Take care,
Good
buddy.
night.
Yeah, good night. Bye bye, everybody.
Good night, Peanut Gallery.